Step into the octagon. My water, more water, shining. I'm a great American professor. Oh, it's like a tumor, I get you the rope. Oh, college school, I got a hate. Training inland, a friend of cannabis, flying triangles, elevates. Yo, I represent this planet. Professor O's, America, America. Achuga mare, pure giri, ambassade. Professor O's, America, America. Mamote, Brazil, oi halate. Professor O's, this planet. Professor O's, America. Migi won't say, won't you, mawale.
We're going to be going over some Kguard now, and the Kguard's a great guard to play if you can move pretty dynamically, and if you're fighting people that are very like static. It's a great way to enter onto the legs. You see a couple guys that specialize in this. Some that come to mind are Owen Jones, Mateusz Jasinski. A lot of those like Polish guys right now are playing a lot of Kguard. They also have great like upper body attacks as well from Kguard, and we're also seeing some guys from Australia playing a lot of Kguard. I think a lot of that's coming from Lachlan Giles. So Kguard's a fantastic guard to play, and yeah, I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of the basics that I know. First, I want to just show you like, well, what is Kguard? Okay, so Kguard can be played both like with a leg on the cross hip or a leg on this hip right here, same side hip. So like cross hip, boom, or same side hip. One of the most important things though is this foot, because something that I've heard said a lot is you want to still have the ability to push a lot, okay? If you can't really push with this, all right? We're pushing with this. So this allows our feet to act like our hands. And that again is another one of the most important aspects of Kguard, is that my feet are now becoming my hands because I'm inverting, right? So when I'm like in this like half inversion and my weight's on one of my shoulders right here, okay, my feet have now become my hands, all right? And we'll go over that some more later, but that's just kind of the ground basics of Kguard. Now, we can't just spin around our opponent with no connection. So the connecting point of Kguard is right here with this scoop grip under the leg, okay? Not under the other leg. I know I can have my foot on either hip, but it's really this scoop on the leg that makes Kguard. And then my connecting hand right here is what allows a closed grip around his leg and allows me to create an axis of rotation basically. So I can now spin around this leg and saddle up on the leg. He can't run away from me. He can't back up. He can't sprawl. Try to sprawl. Yeah, because I have this leg now, right? So that's what Kguard is. And this also counts as Kguard if he's on his knees or if he's standing. So stand up. So there, right here, more Kguard, okay? So I'll be swinging around this leg, and this will be my primary anchor point right here, my connecting point to my opponent, and that's what makes Kguard, okay? So I hope that helps you understand what we're about to get into, and in the next few videos, we'll be showing some techniques from Kguard. Thank you. Let's show a simple way to get into Kguard now. We're gonna start with the closed guard. Hold on one more time. Let's show a simple way to get into Kguard, starting with the closed guard. So we're in closed guard now, and my opponent has two positions in the closed guard that they can do, okay? Two primary positions. We're looking at a posture broken or a posture up, okay? Yes, there's gonna be a bunch of like arm pummels in between, but we're just looking at the fundamentals right now. So best time to go for Kguard is if their posture is up, okay? That means that allows this leg to be free. It's easy for me to scoop under. There's no arms in the way when I scoop under. I can go around for the Kguard, okay? That is different if his posture's down. If his posture's down, I have to get his weight up moving away from me. If we were like in an MMA fight, for example, he's coming up to throw punches. I am maybe covering, and this is the only sense that I could find like Kguard applicable in an MMA fight. But I'm sure with all the chaos of MMA, somebody will find another way. But that's kind of the foundational like positions I see Kguard applied from is right here in closed guard. If, for example, he is keeping his weight down and it's not an MMA fight, he's keeping his weight down. Maybe I can't find any like upper body attacks to do to him, whether that's like a shoulder crunch right there, maybe a Kimura, maybe I tried to like swing for an arm and I can't get any of that. Another little trick you can do is just kind of pull your knees together right here, and now your knees are in front of them, arms are out of the way. I can move to Kguard. Okay? Just understand that once you go here, you have nothing preventing him from moving backwards. So that's why I have to race to the Kguard right here if I want to prevent him from moving backwards, okay? So strategically, this might actually like be better for somebody that will not move backwards. They want to just lay on you. Then, of course, Kguard seems like the perfect tool for this, okay? So that's basically Kguard applied to a closed guard position. And we'll look at another quick one right after this. So in closed guard, there's actually one more thing they can do other than just lay on you or posture up. It's if they stand up. And if they stand up, it's a great way for them to break apart closed guard because you're going to have to open your legs or get picked up or get punched or whatever. You can actually reach under their leg very easily when they stand up. So I think that's it's a great tool for when somebody stands up is Kguard. So maybe I started the fight by jumping closed guard on somebody. Then they're like, oh, he's gonna armbar me or something. No arm bars are happening. Oh, he might triangle me. You know, I need to stand up and get out of here. So he stands up, or maybe he doesn't want to lose on warning calls in IBJJF. He stands up to create action. Now he's wide open for me to drop on one of his legs, okay? Now it's also very important to understand when I drop for one of his legs right here, okay? The hips are important, man. Like, yes, there's a huge difference between if my hips on the floor, relaxed, and my legs are just like kind of here, and then if my hips are up. You see what I'm saying? So the difference is that I'm covering his knee with my hip when I get it up, okay? So that's another big detail, because right here, if I'm not covering his knee, I'm definitely moving under him, okay? If I do cover his knee, then it's like wherever he rolls, I'm gonna stay on that leg, okay? So that's a very important detail when you're dropping on the Kguard from closed guard after somebody stood up, is to understand, you know, am I connecting my hips to their knee and covering their knee line, or am I moving under him to go to like, you know, X guard and stuff like that? There are pros and cons, I guess, to each one. But if you're looking for a leg lock, then you might want to cover the knee with your hips. Hope that helps. Once you've started applying the Kguard onto people in your gym, they're going to become a little bit savvy to it. They'll understand that they need to disperse their weight a little bit differently, maybe start sprawling on you the moment that you scoop grip their leg. So it's important to understand how to off balance them with your feet so we can move into an attack. Now the first attack we're going to go over is the outside ashi, and I'm going to show you how to use your feet when you're applying the outside ashi so you can get to the outside heel hook, so that you can have an effective attack for a long period of time, and not just something that, oh, I just started grabbing these guys' legs, they tap, oh, now I can't get it on them anymore. Now you'll be able to get it on them every time that you grab the leg, because you understand how to off balance them correctly and then move into the attack. Okay, so check this out. So maybe I was in closed guard, I scooped under the leg, I connected both of my hands together, and now I want to move to the leg, but he's maybe started like sprawling, he understands how to use his weight well. So now we're going to combine pushing his weight with our feet, okay? So we can make this a light leg, okay? And we can move it to our chest, okay? When I push his weight off of me onto the other leg, this makes this leg light, and it allows me to pull it to me. I can manipulate where his leg is now, okay? So one more time. Scooch this way. Scoot back a little bit. Yeah. So I'm going to invert here, pull my chest to the knee, pull his knee to my chest, and I start off balancing him. Okay, my leg's gonna cross around, and I'm gonna keep pushing him away from me with my leg. Okay, I'm gonna pull his knee onto my chest and pull it to the floor on the other side of my body. Then I'll lock my legs, and then I'll bite the heel, and then I'm gonna bridge through the side of the knee. Okay? One more time, real fast. Close guard, Kguard, pushing him off, pulling, biting, cracking. I feel that outside ashi to outside heel hook is a great expression of off balancing the opponent with our feet. And I hope that helps you guys have a more effective attack and a more effective Kguard moving forward. Thank you. So the next thing that you might run into once an opponent understands how to disperse their weight properly is grip fighting. So the feet are no different. Now that the feet are doing the hands job, they're going to have to deal with hand fighting just a little bit different. We have this stronger limb now, okay? So it shouldn't be as difficult as hand fighting. It really shouldn't freeze us up as much. But I'm going to show going for the backside 50-50 as a counter to the grip fighting, if you will, okay? So let's say I'm in closed guard. I swung for the Kguard right here, and now I'm going to start trying to throw this around and pull myself underneath it, okay? And pull this knee to my chest. But he starts undoing my foot in front of him, okay? Well, I can still throw my leg around all the way to the side and then grab his leg and pull it into 50-50. So I'm in closed guard, Kguard. I go to swing this through, but he tries dismantling my Kguard. I can still pull my leg all the way around and wrap it around the back side. And then I'm going to pull his heel to my hip right here. And this keeps his knee on the mat so that I can complete the heel hook bridging through the inside of his knee. So like, let's say I go for Kguard, throw it around, he starts trying to dismantle it, or I can't pull his knee up on my chest right here. I can still come around, lock this backside 50-50, pull this up here to my other hip, pull his ankle to my hip, and then lock the backside 50-50 heel hook. When I finish this, I want you guys to drive all of this foot goes into the mat where his knee is. So I'm driving down, okay? Realigning my shoulders with my hips. I'm gonna bridge through his knee until his MCL flies out and hits the wall. So there's a not so basic backside 50-50 heel hook from a opponent after after attacking from the Kguard and them trying to defend a little bit and not letting me get into outside Ashi. Hope that helps. Okay, now let's say I went for those attacks and I did a sloppy job keeping like a scoop grip. Maybe they cross-faced and sprawled and they broke the connection, and I need to basically retain my guard and get back to a Kguard, like an open Kguard, okay? Maybe I don't find that closed guard again, but I still want to play my Kguard, okay? So I'll show you guys an example of that using some basic guard retention skills like the high leg and butterfly guard to find your way back to an open Kguard. Turn this way. So I had my closed guard. I had like open this, but like he sprawled the leg and broke the grip or something, and now I'm out here, okay? Remember, I said that this is an open Kguard, okay? So like this is still Kguard if my foot's here or if it's here. I could still reach this, okay? This is a great guard retention method because it's hard for him to put a lot of weight on me when I have these feet up here, okay? So I see this a lot, okay? What would be a problem is if Aiden steps inside of my guard right here, maybe pummels that's not good enough. Like if he just put his knee up here, put your knee up here, that's not really good enough. I can still push him off, okay? If he was to push this to the floor though and step inside, now we got a problem, okay? Especially if he gets on the inside of my armpit right here with an underhook, we're screwed, okay? So just like any other guard, like retention method, I like to throw the high leg, okay? So we get the high leg in there, okay? From the high leg, we can go to a butterfly guard to start to get cross body on him, and then I square up with him, okay? From here, I can pummel, if his weight's not on me still, I can pummel to the outside, and now I'm just playing Kguard on the opposite side now, okay? Let's say he did the same thing over here. Step to the inside. I need the high leg. I need to get his weight off of me, move back to butterfly guard, and now keeping his weight off me, I can move back to Kguard, okay? And then from here, I could get his weight off of me, move into Kguard entry to outside Ashi, and then heel hook. So that's basically a little bit of my insight on like playing an open Kguard, using a little bit of guard retention in order to stay in that pocket, okay? Again, just as a callback to the first video I made, if you'll notice, it's an opponent that is basically trying to stay in the pocket with their weight kind of on me, and my legs are what's keeping the weight off of me, okay? In any space he gives me, I can keep playing the Kguard, all right? But this doesn't take into an account an opponent that just backs away from us, okay? So just remember, the place for the Kguard is when you're both trying to be in the pocket and they want to keep their weight on you maybe, okay? So there you have it, more Kguard. Something that you're going to run into a lot with people when you're trying to play Kguard on them is once they start to understand weight dispersion, once they start to understand grip fighting, they're going to want their hands a little bit closer to you. They're going to be leaning forward. Their head's going to be in the way now, so they can use their head to block some pummels, okay? So what that means is that their upper body is going to be closer to you and their lower body is going to be farther away. So if we're using the leading edge philosophy here, then I need to be attacking the upper body. I can't be trying to fit a square into a triangle hole and reaching for that leg when it's the farthest thing away from me, okay? That's been the downfall of every leg locker player's career. So that's why guys like Owen Jones are doing pretty well out there on the circuit, is because he knows how to attack the upper body as well, all right? So let's look at that. We'll start with two different posts that they can make, one being on the hip and one being like a cross face, right? So let's look at the hip post. Get one leg up or whatever every now and then and start pummeling. You see how he'll put his hand on my hip right here, okay? A pass like that might, if I'm not a very active player, is like he literally just smashes my legs to the floor and runs around to the side, passes it, and drops to side control, okay? So what we can do though, so if I have this like half-ass scoop grip right here where I can't get to that leg, but he's posting on my hip right here, I can pull this and invert right here, like a Granby, okay? So I'm coming upside down, weights on my shoulders, and I'm going around the head right here, okay? If I want to finish this, I can turn towards the legs, and that would be a pretty brutal shotgun armbar right here, okay? Usually, guys will posture up. If they posture up to try to slip out, it makes it even worse, okay? So also, like holding this cross leg is what prevents them from like rotating very easily, right? So if I didn't have this, then this wouldn't be as big of a threat. It's still a big enough threat that it'll probably back out, but it might not get the break. If I have this and I can rotate through, then this will be a really strong finish. You can't step over me, can you? Yeah, he can't step over me. I'm going to bridge through the mat right here. I'm facing his legs as well. It's just a terrible spot for him, okay? If somehow you miss this, there's probably a good like back take off of that or something. I post up with his hand on my hip. I pull this tight, invert, and throw this over his head. And the one thing I have to look out for is if he starts walking around me. But the shotgun arm makes that the shotgun armbar makes that very difficult. So just a tricep grip on the hand posting on your hip, pull it through and shoot for the armbar. So brutal. Hope that helps. The other place that an opponent might target to defend themselves would be like a crossface, okay? So right here, if I'm playing Kguard and I'm going for this leg and I'm maybe like keeping him off balance, but my leg got out of position and he cross-faced me right here, okay? So if they do this, what I would advise you do is move, because I'm not going to be able to pull this leg anymore. I would actually go with this shoulder clamp right here, go to a butterfly hook, and start lifting and sweeping them to that side. But that's not really the Kguard philosophy. So we're going to take this shoulder clamp and throw it over the back, okay? Now, from here would be the toy bar game, which some guys are getting really good at, but you also have to be careful about this rotation that they can do where they step around the head, right? That's a problem, okay? So if he comes back, when I shoulder clamp this, I can throw this over, okay? But I want to lock up a Kimura grip, okay? And now pull my leg out and get perpendicular to him for the Ultra Kimura, all right? So that's kind of a blend of the Kguard style with something that I feel is going to be a little bit, because I saw this at Zapatero 100K too. I believe Diego Pata did this. And I was like, yo, that looks like something I've been trying to do too. So I think that this Kimura is a great alternative to that defensive, that counter attack that we'll deal with in a toy bar. So I go for the Kguard, I go to shoulder clamp, okay? I go to throw this over, but I just do all of this so that I can get into a Kimura grip. And then I square up with him. So now I can start attacking the Ultra Kimura, okay? If you guys need a couple details on finishing that Ultra Kimura, some of the main things are just like any other Kimura is you need to use extension to separate the elbow from the body. And that makes it a significantly less amount of rotation that their shoulder can eat. Okay, and then you apply the Kimura. And make sure you use your legs chopping down with the hamstrings so they cannot use extension to get out of there. Okay, we're trying to keep them compressed. So I hope that helps next time somebody tries to cross face you while you're applying the Kguard by giving you a couple of different attacks you can try. All right. So we've looked at a bunch of attacks against a kneeling opponent. Now let's try attacks from the Kguard on a standing opponent and see how that changes the dynamic. Okay. So, oh, mind you, this isn't even going to scratch the surface of a lot of that stuff that like Levi's doing. I got to look at that some more, but this is some like basic standing Kguard stuff, okay? Just full disclaimer before you watch anymore. So let's say I was in closed guard, he stood up, okay, nice. Now I'm playing Kguard against a standing opponent. So we talked about covering the leg earlier, okay? And the primary attack here is going to be for me to move to the outside ashi, okay? If I connect to him with the Kguard and he knows he needs to start passing here, that would look a little something like him peeling the hook off and doing a back step, like him moving back this way, okay? So a good counter for when they back step is if I'm down here, he does the back step, I swing to backside 50-50 and then immediately pull his knee to the mat, okay? We'll do that. So he goes to back step. I'm going to throw this and pull, like fall on the side of my body, okay? One more time. Because you guys got to see how I actually trap the knee here. So he back steps. If I throw this around and then just fall and keep my leg out, like, so there's space for him to go to the mat. If I didn't do that, then if I pulled both my knees in, his knee's out. So I'm going to keep his knee by pulling my other leg back and just kind of falling on my side to break his knee down to the mat. It's like a chopping motion, okay? So now that I've chopped him down to the mat, I can lock my legs. And to keep that knee on the mat, I have to lift his foot up. Now that his foot's up, his knee's not going to come off the mat very easily, okay? Now I pass it under my arm and apply the heel hook, okay? So I'm going to go, so he back steps here, pull, heel hook. There's your backside 50-50 heel hook. It's a little more advanced than some of the other heel hooks, but it's just an inside heel hook at the end of the day. I hope that helps. Another problem you'll run into versus standing opponent is the same grip fighting thing we were dealing with when they're on their knees, if they start grabbing at our legs. So let's look at what happens if they grab the wrapping leg, the main wrapping leg, before we try to swing around. Let's look at what we can do to an opponent that does that. Say I'm like playing this Kguard, he starts grabbing this leg right here, okay? Now look at how if I pull this is actually pretty interesting. You see this come from someone like Jet Thompson a lot, is he will bait you to grab the ankle. So he'll grab my ankle and I can start pulling it and he'll follow it, okay? So if you look right here, if he allows that elbow to get so separated from his body, I can punish him for it with the shotgun armbar right here, okay? So say I'm here, I go to throw this leg, he grabs it, okay? Instead of me trying to pull myself through into a failing Kguard, I can just grab this tricep and shotgun armbar. One more time. Here, here, here. So next time you guys find that they're messing with your feet when you're trying to shoot for that Kguard versus standing opponent, you guys can try to attack their arm. Let's look at one final attack that works great on more old school players or people that just like to scoop the leg, you know, like they're going to go for an underpass, right? This is the jabroni triangle, which is made famous by Elijah Carlton, and it's a great attack. I've seen him hit it multiple times on PGF and just around, man, and I see a lot of people like starting to do the same thing using something that I've only ever seen Elijah before do. So it's a really cool triangle attack. So check this out. So like, let's say I was attacking the Kguard and Aiden here decided to squat low and hit this scoop grip on my leg. Yep, so this scoop grip can be a nuisance, okay? Like, it could be such a nuisance that if I was rolling and somebody scoop gripped me, one of the first things I might think about is like, shit, man, I gotta clear that scoop, okay? But in some cases, there's actually a great attack right here. So I'm trying to attack this leg. He has a scoop grip. Another instinct that the top player wants to do is get this leg away from me. So if he starts sprawling that, look at how he loses a connection between his knee and his elbow inherently by defending the leg lock, okay? Now, from here, what I can do is I can go cross grip on the elbow, maybe two hands to support it, and I just start bridging my hips and locking this triangle, okay? It works even better on somebody that wants to be on their knees, but in this case, we can still do it against somebody on their feet, okay? So I have the Kguard, I want to come around, he scoop grips, okay? Now, instinctually, their leg's trying to move away usually, okay? So from here, I can go right here with the leg, and now leg over, biting over the head. Now you're like, well, Ryan, I can't get it locked, you know? My leg feels stuck in the hips. Well, the thing that you have to make sure you do is hang on to this arm, okay? And now I'm gonna bridge and make space for my leg to pull out, okay? And then I can lock my triangle and finish the